Hi everyone, I'm Grahtles, and today I wanted to take a look at district styles. I'm actually going to start a new series in City Skylines for my channel, and before I started, I wanted to do some research into what style I wanted to do, if I wanted to do multiple styles, do I want to start unlimited, or do I want to do milestones? And in that search of what I wanted to do, I know if you do milestones, you have to wait till the second milestone in order to do districts and put districts onto your maps. So like here, I would not, here in the default, you would click here and you can change the default style. But you can't do this until you unlock districts, which is not until your second milestone. So whatever you put down as your first buildings would be the default style. If you do unlimited and you put in districts right away, you can unlock any style by just changing it from here. So while I was going through, I was looking at it, and unless you actually lay down the different districts and then look through them, you honestly don't know exactly what they look like. So that's why today I decided, let me lay down some and share it with you and show you what they look like from like a real perspective. So in zoning, I did do low density residential, high density residential, low density commercial, and high density commercial. And I just did it the opposite on the side, and every other one like this. So now, while doing this, I did include zoning. So in zoning, you can change your zoning from, you could do self-sufficient, and you could do local produce, which is somewhere over here. Is it over here? That's it right there. So yeah, you can zone in that. And the local produce will be low density, even if you put in high density, as you can see here, it'll still be low density. And self-sufficient, you can put both high density and low density. So let's go ahead and take a look, and we'll start up here at the default, at a little closer look on how they look and how they level up. Most of this has leveled up. So this is our default setting in the low density residential. That's quite a messy house right there. These orange roofs kind of look very similar to the European style, but we haven't gotten to that yet. And then we have our high density, which, because the sun is coming from that direction, we'll just swing it around a little bit this way. And this is the high density residential default. And then back here, they haven't quite leveled up as much. Zoom in a little. It's very loud. This is kind of just a mixture of both high density and low density residential. Over here we have our high density commercial in the default. And then we have our low density default commercial. So it kind of gives you an idea of what the buildings look like. So I guess we'll move on to the European style. And that is down in here. This is labeled European. This is our low density European. We got a few more over on this side. Now, these houses right here look just like the messy house I said over in the default setting. And this orange roofed one looks very similar to this default over here. So I believe some of the European are not exactly, they look more default. If you look really closely at some of them, even the pink buildings here. For residential, we have one over here. So I do not see much different in these. Some of them look very, very similar. There are a couple of different ones that I don't see over here. We'll come back. But otherwise, they're quite similar. So that is the low density European. So as we go into the high density European, that's where I notice a difference. You got a lot more of the orange roofs and the older style buildings. This one is actually leveling up. This is kind of a mix of both the high density and low density residential. Then if we come over to this side, we have the high residential European style, high density. This is the low density European style, commercial. So yeah, that's just a quick look at the European district style. Could do a little overview like that. So that's European, and this is the default. So now we'll move over to the European Suburbia, and we'll come in on this angle because of the sun. And we'll come a little closer. These are nicer, I think, only because they do put up nice fences, and the hedges act as a fence, so it gives it a nice little border. Some of them go all the way around, some of them only go to the sides. As you can see back here, this one has a, these two actually have a backyard barrier. These are the ones that are a little lower on leveling up. Then we have the high density European style. These have leveled up. And the ones back here have not. Then we kind of have a mix of the two residential styles in the European Suburbia. We have them in here. Then down over here we have high density European Suburbia in the commercial. And here's the low density commercial European Suburbia. And we'll kind of do a little aerial view. So that is European Suburbia. So now we'll go over to, I guess we'll come down to this one. You know what? Let's go over to this one. This is University City. This is a content creator pack. And here we have our low density residential. Now these start off pretty rough, actually. They're pretty desolate and dirty and decrepit. And as they level up, the buildings get nicer and nicer. But you still have that dirty look to them. As you can see, I'll go down to a walking level. And you can see there's a lot of dirt in these. Some of these are better than others, but you can just see this. It looks like disgusting. I don't know what it is. Over here you got the same thing. It's a very dirty looking ground. And I see it on a lot, even though the houses have leveled up. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to clear up as you level up, but on this it hasn't. Now we could go back and check our values. I mean, that is pretty high value. Not greatly, but it has improved a lot. So just take notice of the dirty streets. So over here, sorry about that. I'm getting a little lag from the save. Alright. Over here is the University City high density. And here's kind of a mix of the two residents. And then we have the high density commercial in University City. And this is the low density commercial in University City. So this is the University City. So now we're going to go over to the modern city center. And this is the low density residential. Now as these level up, they do get nice swimming pools. A lot of them in the backyards. You'll see a lot with the solar panels. And quite massive houses on the 4x4s. Again, we have the pink building, which is a throw from the European over there and the default setting. But most of these, I would say, are really pretty nice. These are different sizes. These have not leveled up as much. Looks like these two leveled up pretty decently. And then over here we have the high density, the modern city center. As well as over here. And then down here we have a mix. Over here we have the high density modern city center, commercial. and the low density commercial. So this is all the modern city. And we'll take a little aerial view. So that is the modern city center. And on University City, I don't think we did a little aerial view, so that is University City. So last we'll take a look at the self-sufficient and local produce. So these are your self-sufficient ones. We'll come down on this side first. And these are still leveling up. Over here we got one. So that just leveled up. You'll see the green roofs. That just filled in with a bunch of trees. And we have another leveling up over here. These haven't leveled up as much. They will put in later. These are quite nice though. They're very modern looking. And that just completed. And over here is the high density on your self-sufficient. See, a lot of them have the wood on the outsides and the green roofs. That one has solar panels. And now down here, if you district this into commercial, there is no high density commercial for the local produce. So as you can see, even though I zoned it with the blue, the dark blue, for the high density, it just came in as regular commercial, low density. So yeah, that's an overview over here. So this is the self-sufficient and local. This is the modern city. This over here is university. Over here is European Suburbia. Over here is European. And over here is the default. So I hope you find this episode a little helpful when trying to figure out a style. But yeah, I found it a little helpful. I still am indecisive on what I want to do or mix them up, or I'm not sure yet. But yeah, if you like my content and would like to see more, please click the like button and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.